Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. You can also find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio. Straight and full Detroit and Michigan sports coverage 100% of the time. If you have any opinions on everything that's going on in the Detroit sports world, call in or send a text message live on the show at 231-429-3668. Also, you can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, online at facebook.com/TaylorGatorPhillips14. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. And follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips with 2 L's.
And this is episode 150, another milestone episode, and today is my birthday, my 31st birthday, that is. On this podcast, I'm going to preview the Red Wings season, postseason, Stanley Cup Playoffs, first round matchup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I also explain who should be their number one goaltender and why, and did they even deserve to make the playoffs for the 24th consecutive time, for the 24th consecutive season. Also, the Tigers start 6-0 for the first time in 50 years. But I think people need to, stop playing this 162-0 game. I really do. Also, the Pistons being eliminated from NBA playoffs contention. And them not having many games left. They had 4 games remaining after they were eliminated. I'll get to them at the end of the podcast. Before the end of the podcast. But first, congratulations to the Detroit Red Wings for making the Stanley Cup Playoffs for the 24th consecutive season, on pace for 25. Even though Mike Babcock may leave the team for the to be the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is possible. But on DetroitRedWings.com is a full preview headlining Yzerman's Lightning take on Red Wings. First time Stanley Cup playoff opponents have plenty in common. That was earlier from yesterday on April 12th at 10:58 a.m. Eastern by the NHL.com beat writer staff, unnamed. Steve Yzerman is a hockey icon because of his career with the Red Wings. Now he's a Now he's built a team that will try to topple his former franchise. The Tampa Bay Lightning, with Yzerman as general manager, will face the Red Wings in an Eastern Conference first-round series. Tampa Bay set a Lightning record with 108 points, finished second in the Atlantic Division. Detroit has qualified for the playoffs 24 consecutive seasons, or 2 more than the Lightning have been in existence. The Red Wings reached 100 points for the 17th time since the 1992 to 1993 season, and finished third in the Atlantic. One of the marquee matchups in the opening round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs is sure to be Steven Stamkos against Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg. Stamkos finished with the second most goals in the NHL, but he's likely to encounter a lot from two of the best defensive forwards in the sport. Each team is deep at forward and features several young, exciting talents who supplement the Stars. Detroit lost several stalwarts from its back-to-back trips to the Cup Finals in 08-09. to the back-to-back trips to the Cup Finals, bless me, in 2008 and 2009. But a new wave of homegrown talent has given the Red Wings opponent attack. Stamkos is the anchor of the top line and the feature act on the power play, but Tampa Bay's second line is among the best in the NHL. 3 emerging stars, Tyler Johnson, Nikita Kucherov, and Andre Palat, formed one of the most productive units in the NHL. Yzerman played 22 seasons for the Red Wings from 1983 to 2006 and worked 4 seasons in the Detroit front office before taking the job in Tampa Bay in 2010. He inherited a roster with the world-class talents like Stamkos and defenseman Victor Hedman, and added several key players either through the draft, Palat, Kucherov, and Jonathan Drouin, through trade with Brian Callahan, Ben Bishop, their goaltender, and Braden Coburn, or via free agency. Anton Strawman, Jason Garrison, and Valtteri Filppula, another former Red Wing. This series will feature 2 of the best coaches in the NHL. Detroit's Mike Babcock has reached the Stanley Cup Finals 3 times as head coach, winning once, and has 2 Olympic gold medals from his work with Canada in 2010 and 2014. 2009, the way they lost the Cup in 2009 is devastating, by the way. Since Babcock became coach of the Red Wings in the 05-06 season, Detroit has 64 playoff victories, 6 more than any team in the league. Tampa Bay's John Cooper was a finalist for the Jack Adams Award in 2014 and would be a worthy candidate this season. Cooper's incredible rise from the practicing lawyer to NHL coach began not far from Joe Louis Arena. His first coaching job was at Lansing Catholic Central High School, about 90 miles northwest of Detroit. Bishop and Jimmy Howard are the established number 1 goaltenders, but the teams of young backups who could see time in the series if needed. Pierre Mrazek has made a significant push to steal the job from Howard, and Andrei Vasilevsky is one of the elite prospects at the position and has played well in limited action for the Lightning. Now they break down the forwards. For the Lightning, they have one of the deepest set of forwards in the NHL. 9 players scored 12 or more goals this season. Steven Stamkos surpassed 40 goals for the 4th time despite several different line mates, including Alex Killorn, Ryan Callahan, Filppula, and Jonathan Drouin. The line of Tyler Johnson, Nikita Kucherov, and Andre Palat. There we go. That sounds more correct. Palat was one of the most productive in the NHL. All 3 have more than 60 points and a plus 30 rating or better. Kucherov struggled to stay in the lineup at times in his rookie season last season, but the 21-year-old enjoyed a breakout. Kucherov plays larger than his 5'11", 184-pound frame and is willing to go into congested areas to score. Brian Boyle has been valuable as the 4th-line center and one of the top penalty killers. He can provide a scoring punch, 15 goals, and has played shifts on defense when injuries forced him there. Rookie Cedric Paquette was an early call-up from Syracuse who played his way into the lineup with his gritty style and a knack for scoring ugly goals. Filppula sacrificed some of his offensive numbers by becoming the primary 3rd-line center, but remains a major part of the power play. We have a comment here from Fat Cat Radio. Thought I'd wake up to give you a play. Thanks. For the Red Wings, the loss of left wing Eric Cole out for the season with a spinal contusion is a big blow. Cole and left winger Justin Applicator, who was out late in the season with an injured hand, gave Detroit most of its size. Center Riley Sheahan is the only other big forward. It's obviously a must that Applicator, who had a breakout regular season scoring 20 goals, returns. There's plenty of skill and scoring punch with Datsyuk if he can stay healthy enough. If he can stay healthy enough to play, Zetterberg and young wings Tomas Tatar and Gustav Nyquist. Nyquist has been on a roll. He just keeps racking up the goals. They must be productive for Detroit. They must be productive for Detroit to have any chance of winning a playoff round. Sheahan is a key. He's the 3rd-line center when Datsyuk and Zetterberg play on separate lines and moves up to number 2 when they play together. Darren Helm brings speed and a net front presence. 4th-line center Luke Glendening could shine with left wing Drew Miller. They are top penalty killers and effective grinders, roles that become more important in the playoffs. That pair, along with center right wing Joachim Anderson, has made a strong line for most of the season. Detroit has struggled with faceoffs at times late in the season. That will have to improve. There's a con right there. Defensemen. Tampa Bay has been dealing with injuries for most of the season and is hoping to have Andre Suster with an upper body injury and Braden Coburn with a foot injury available for the first round. Jason Garrison with an upper body injury is expected to miss the first round. Anton Strawman has been a steady presence and will be learned on heavily until the others return. Strawman's versatility will come into play early. He is a valuable member of the power play and penalty kill. Victor Hedman returned from injury, and like Strawman, he'll be on the ice for 24 to 25 minutes a game and needed to contribute heavily on special teams. Despite missing 23 games, Hedman led Lightning defensemen with 10 goals, and coach John Cooper, their head coach, said his shot became one of the best on the team. Matthew Carl is the other healthy veteran and has seen his ice time increase considerably over the past couple of weeks. Carl won't give much offensively, but he's had his moments on the power play. The interest The injuries to Suster, Coben, and Jason Garrison have opened up time for Barberio, Nikita Nestorov, and Luke Witkowski. Barberio has the most experience and has done a good job of providing toughness. Witkowski and Nestorov are rookies who will be expected to stay at home, block shots, and handle physical play. For the Red Wings, Detroit gets all it possibly can out of a unit that has Nicholas Kronwall and Jonathan Ericsson, who keeps turning the puck over, as its top pair. I don't understand why Ericsson is even part of a top pair. They are better when Ericsson doesn't make turnovers and excel at killing penalties. Kronwall is an offensive threat, but hasn't Kronwalled anybody with a devastating body check he became known for in a while. We may see one of those two in the playoffs. Ericsson is big but isn't physical on a consistent basis. The second pair, Danny DeKeyser and Kyle Quincy, was the most consistent for much of the season. DeKeyser in his second full season is steadily improving and may ultimately have the best career of any of the Red Wings defensemen. He's a great skater, is always in the right position defensively, makes a great first pass, and is getting better offensively. Quincy brings a stay-at-home physical blue-collar element. The third pair received a boost with the acquisition of Marek Zhilitsky prior to the NHL trade deadline. He has teamed with Brendan Smith, who committed this interference call for playing the puck on the bench while he was not the legal man. They bring offense with a right-handed shot and a booming slap shot. Smith is more consistent this season, but is prone to turnovers in his zone and questionable decisions and penalty minutes. Stupid penalty minutes. Goaltenders. For the Lightning, Bishop was a Vezina Trophy finalist last year when he set a Lightning record for wins with 37 and at a .223 goals against average. He missed the playoffs with an elbow injury, and Tampa Bay, with Anders Lindback in goal, was swept by Montreal. This season, Bishop broke his record with 39 wins and is healthy going into the postseason. However, his postseason work to date is one game in the minor leagues, and despite his regular season success, could be considered somewhat of a question mark with his lack of experience. As one of the NHL's top scoring teams, Tampa Bay doesn't need Bishop to be perfect, but it'll need him to avoid giving up goals in bunches like he has a few times in the past 2 months. The arrival of 20-year-old rookie Andrei Vasilevsky helped Bishop get more rest down the stretch. Vasilevsky has playoff experience from his time in the Continental Hockey League with a K, and leading Russia to a gold medal in last year's IIHF World Championship. Although Bishop is the clear-cut starter and will have every chance to lead Tampa Bay through the postseason, Cooper will not be shy about making a change if he needs to. For the Red Wings, whether the Red Wings will go with Howard or Mrazek, goaltending will be a question mark, weakness until proven otherwise. Howard hasn't been the same since returning from a groin injury he sustained on January 10th, which sidelined him a month. He was the biggest reason for Detroit's early season success and was picked to play in the 2015 Honda NHL All-Star Game hours before he injured himself. Howard said his struggles stem from not being able to track the puck as well as he had earlier in the season. Well, that's not true. Howard's wrong. He just keeps letting in soft goals that he should have had. Mrazek, at age 23, won 8 of 11 decisions in Howard's absence. That's called wins above replacement in hockey. Not just in baseball, hockey. He led the Grand Rapids Griffins to the Calder Cup in 2013, has shown he is a future number one NHL goalie and possesses the ability to put a bad performance behind him, but he has been inconsistent and needs to work on a few technical aspects. The question is, do the Red Wings go with a struggling veteran with playoff experience and a solid postseason track record of a young player who has shown flashes of brilliance, but who needs more seasoning? I would still go with Peter Mrazek. Jimmy Howard keeps letting in soft goals every now and then. Peter Mrazek allows less soft goals. And most people on MLive.com have voted with a vast majority that Peter Mrazek should be the number one goaltender. Pending his 35-save performance in a shutout win 2-0 in Carolina over the Hurricanes this past Saturday night, Mrazek proved strongly why he should be the number one goaltender. Howard proved why he should not by allowing 4 goals total, 2 of them soft goals, in Montreal against the Canadiens in an overtime loss. It's time we got 23 minutes left. Let's get to the coaches. The Lightning's commitment to staying within its structure and playoff selfless hockey comes from the vision of Cooper. John Cooper, that is. The former defense attorney pays close attention to details. He is quick to compliment players who make plays without the puck and are willing to go into the dirty areas of the ice to create opportunities. Cooper won a Calder Cup as coach of the Syracuse Crunch in the American Hockey League in the 11-12 season, and was named the league's most outstanding coach in 2012. He coached the Lightning to the playoffs in his first 2 full seasons. Oh, well, he has, actually. Cooper will play all 4 lines, and with the depth at forward, can expect any of them to provide offensive chances. He expects full effort on both ends of the ice and has rewarded young players Paquette and Vladislav Nemesnikov with full-time roles because of their productivity. For the Red Wings, Babcock is considered by many to be the best coach in the NHL. He almost certainly will be the highest paid by the start of next season. Babcock is the 2015-16 season. Babcock is in the last season of his contract, and some team, probably Detroit, probably Toronto actually, will give him a huge long-term deal this summer. Babcock has a Stanley Cup in 2008 and 2 Olympic gold medals, and got the most out of the limited and at times injury-riddled Red Wings in each of the past 2 seasons. Babcock is in his 10th season as Red Wings coach and is their all-time leader in wins. He's an outstanding motivator and a good bench coach, but the Red Wings have been victimized by too many men penalties on several occasions this season, including one in each of 3 consecutive games late in the season. Plus they've been victims of bad line changes. Plus he had made some line changes at very bad times, allowing the opposing teams to score goals. It will be very interesting to see how Babcock handles his goaltending situation, particularly if Howard and Mrazek remain inconsistent. Special teams. Despite leading the NHL in goals scored, the power play has been inconsistent and is in the middle of the pack. The inconsistency has been frustrating to Stamkos, who has often questioned his teammates' efforts when the unit has struggled. Even with the injuries, the Lightning are a top 10 team on the penalty kill, and much of that can be traced to Boyle and Strawman, who have played in every game this season. For the Red Wings, their power play production and penalty killing effectiveness fell off toward the end of the season after each was surprisingly good early. The units were steadily in the NHL's top half during the first two-thirds of the season. Injuries to Datsyuk, a slump by Zetterberg, and goaltending issues are the biggest reasons for the recent lack of effectiveness. The addition of Sedlitsky, however, has improved the power play, giving it a right-handed shooting defenseman with a strong slap shot and the ability to make smart and effective plays. Glendening, Miller, and Anderson and Helm are outstanding penalty-killing forwards, and the defensive pair of Kronwall and Eriksson is usually effective when playing short-handed, just as long as Eriksson doesn't turn the puck over too many times. Series changer. Tyler Johnson, the triplets line of Johnson, Kucherov, and Palat for the Lightning has been one of the top scoring lines in the NHL, and Johnson's the best goal scorer of the three. He has great chemistry with his line mates and tends to be in the right place at the right time. Johnson isn't big, but he's sturdy and isn't afraid to battle for the puck or go into tight areas. If there was any knock on Johnson, it's sometimes he'll try to make the perfect pass instead of shooting the puck, but when he does shoot, good things usually happen, like scoring goals. As teams tend to focus their game plan on trying to stop Stamkos, Johnson should be able to create some scoring opportunities without drawing the toughest assignments. He's also the key to their power play, which is at its best when Johnson is handling the puck for a shot or looking for the open man. For the Red Wings, Pavel Datsyuk at the forward if Pavel Datsyuk has to miss games, there's almost no chance to win a series. There's a very little chance to win the series. Datsyuk at age 36 missed 19 games during the regular season and finished with 26 goals and 65 points. Without his productivity, creativeness, 200-foot game, and ability to win faceoffs, it will be difficult to get out of the first round. Datsyuk has played with 108 out of 164 games in the past two regular seasons, and is getting injured more often the older he gets. If he can stay on the ice, it'll be a huge boost. Bottom line. The Lightning will win if the young defenseman can perform well enough until Suster and Colburn return, and Bishop shows his early regular season form. Barbero, Nestrov, and Witkowski will have to commit staying home on the back end and keeping some of the pressure off Bishop. At times they've been prone to mental lapses that can be expected from rookies, but the margin of error in the playoffs is much smaller. Even if the young players do their part, Bishop will be asked to make some tough saves and deal with extended play at his end of the ice. Tampa Bay will score some goals to make his life easier, but they want to avoid high-scoring games. The Red Wings will win if Datsyuk can stay healthy. Zetterberg, Tatar, and Nyquist can provide offense, and Sheahan wins his third or second line center matchup. They also need to avoid turnovers and have one of the goalies play well. Neither Tatar nor Nyquist managed a point in the game in a 5-game playoff loss to the Boston Bruins last season. Sheahan is a big center who plays well defensively, has shown good hands, has passing ability, and knows how to control and protect the puck in the offensive zone. They must eliminate turnovers They must eliminate the turnovers that late in the season made the goaltending issues even more glaring. That is the end of this article. I'm going to ask my own question. And then I'm going to answer it. Did the Red Wings deserve to make the playoffs? I'd say half yes and half no. The reason why I say yes is because they got off to a great start. They were producing more. They kept finding ways to win until March. That's when they terribly collapsed, which is why from there on until now, until last Saturday night, the Red Wings were so close from being eliminated from playoff contention, from Stanley Cup playoff contention, but yet they finished third in the Atlantic Division, and after they lost to Montreal in overtime, they realized the Florida Panthers beat the Boston Bruins 4-2. The Red Wings made the playoffs for the 24th consecutive time, but I think they're in trouble. The way they played in the last few games, except the one in Carolina. They only produced 2 runs, 2 goals in that game, held on for a 2-0 victory. Peter Mrazek made 35 saves. Their turnovers are so aggravating that it may be too much for them to overcome in the first round. I would say Lightning in 6. I would say yes to my own question, because they just kept hanging in there and kept finding ways to win. They found ways to lose as well. They got to get better in the shoot. They got to get better in the shootout. No, the shootout's not going to be gone. Spare me the shootout. Sucks crap.
Ah, shut up, you idiot. What? Oh.
Wings and Lightning start Game 1 Thursday. You can look at the schedule on DetroitRedWings.com. Next topic. Tigers start their season undefeated with a 6-0 record. A sweep over the struggling Minnesota Twins at Comerica Park, and then a sweep over the Cleveland Indians at Progressive Field. Yeah, they're 6-0, but I don't understand why people keep having this 162-0 thing stuck in their heads when they see the Tigers start their season undefeated. That's pointless. There is no perfect season in Major League Baseball ever for any of those 32 teams in this league. 162-0 is ridiculous. That's like way too many games to play. Like, you have to play 2 hockey or basketball regular seasons in the pros, 82 games. That's under 64. That's like a little over half the amount which is supposed to be 81. There is no game 164. They're playing the Pirates next in Pittsburgh, and then they return home to take on the White Sox. $162 and 0?
Oh, man!
Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous. I like how their offense is sparked, but it's really surprising that the starting pitching statistically has given up more runs than the relief pitching staff has thus far through the first 6 games of the season. I mean, it's unbelievable. Ian Cole still has been a bust, but Angel Nesbitt, well, he still hasn't given up any runs. Yet, the bullpen needs to throw more strikes. Quit throwing balls, for crying out loud. Justin Verlander shouldn't be on the 15-day disabled list for too long. It's the first time he's ever been on DL. It's safe for them to put him on there, I guess. No, actually, it's definitely a good idea. So, Fat Cat Radio commented again, yo, just wanted to see if you have time after your show, give mine a listen. AM live now until around 2 hours, so be good, see you pop in my show. Thanks. I'll try and remember. Yeah, another non-sports related comment, but hey, it's very courteous. It's very nice. I'll allow it. It equals good ratings. It makes good ratings, doesn't it? This is episode 1. This is the 150th episode of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker and on iHeartRadio. You can call in or text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668 if you're still up. 231-429-3668. Moving on to the Pistons now. The Pistons rout the Charlotte Hornets 116-77 at the Palace. 39-point win is the best win for the Pistons this season. They were eliminated from NBA playoffs contention before they had 4 games to go to play in the regular season remaining. They lost to the Pacers in a close game, and then they routed the Hornets, not only because the Pistons were very good, but the Hornets were terrible. How can the Charlotte Hornets ever improve? I mean, really, that's going to take a long time for the Charlotte Hornets to improve. But anyway, the Pistons were trying to prove why they have a good roster and why they don't need a top lottery draft pick. They need to stop depending on top lottery draft picks to help them get the job done more. It's not going to help them out defensively either. They need to play defense better as a team, as an entire team. I do like the way their offense is being produced, even without Brandon Jennings. But once Brandon Jennings returns, their points per game will skyrocket. They'll score like 120 to 130 points plus points per game, which is wickedly ridiculous. Think about that.
Oh, man! Look at that!
With that kind of offense, starting next season, it'll bail out the defense, who still can't guard the arc without paying attention. The offense will keep exploding and keep winning them games. I would much rather have them win more games defensively, but their offense will be even way more powerful than ever before. They got Jody Meeks, Andre Drummond, Greg Monroe, Anthony Tolliver, Caron Butler, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Tayshaun Prince. They're keeping him. He does belong here in Detroit. Terry Foster, get out of here.
Ah, shut up, you idiot. What? Oh.
They even got Joel Anthony. They got John Lucas, who has been an X factor to this team. 2 minutes left. They're in Cleveland and then New York to wrap up the season. They just played their last home game of the season. So that covers it for the Pistons, and
well, that about wraps it up for now. Head out.
That wraps it up for Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 150 on Spreaker. Thanks for downloading and listening. Thanks to Fat Cat Radio, of course, for commenting. And I will talk to you next week for another week in review on episode 151 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker and iHeartRadio. Until then, this is Taylor Phillips saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.